is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That, of course, is the Three Tremors. The name of that tune was Sonic Suicide, and on the line right now, I'm going to say is one of the laziest musicians in the history of all rock. He barely works. It's Tim Ripper Owens. Tim, how are you, man?
Listen, I'm so lazy, I think I might do this interview while laying in bed.
Well, dude, it's probably the first time you've seen your bed in forever, man. It seems like you're never home. You're always on tour.
Actually, I'm in my car. I get this the time of the day. I'll do interviews. I'll pick my kids up from school. I'm running around. Yeah, I see my bed at night, and, you know, now that we're getting old, I don't sleep very good anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly, dude. Well, Tim, obviously you are the, I'm not even going to say one of the, you are the hardest working musician in all of heavy metal. Right now you have 3 projects going all at the same time, as well as your solo stuff. You have the Three Tremors, you have A New Revenge, and you have Spirits of Fire, all releasing records all at the same time. You're busy, my friend.
I am busy. I think the only thing is everybody thinks I might have recorded those at the same time. You know, A New Revenge, which was Project Rock was recorded about 3 years ago. Okay. They kind of went and staggered, you know, and then all of a sudden the labels all got together, I think, and decided to release them all at once, which is just such a brilliant move to do, isn't it?
Right.
But I listen, Chris, I'm a musician. I'm a singer. That's what I do for a living. People say, why don't you do one band? Well, this is what I do for a living.
Sure.
If I do one band, you know, I'll be a greeter at Walmart or something. I got to get another job.
Right.
So, I love to sing. I listen to these projects, these bands that I hear the music. I'm like, man, I'd love to sing on that. So I'm pretty lucky.
Sure. And you know, it's interesting. I've heard all 3 records, and especially from you, none of them sound the same. Your vocals sound very different on each record, and stylistically each record is different. So if people are thinking, well, it's just overload of Tim Ripper Owens, they're wrong, because if you listen to Three Tremors, that's definitely you know, balls out, where if you listen to like New Revenge, much more contemporary and honestly probably the most surprising of the 3.
I agree, and it was funny because when I first did it, it was one of my favorites that I'd done. Really, here's the thing I just told somebody else. All of them they're still me. It's not like I'm singing different. I'm still singing like me, but just the music needs something different in each one of them.
Sure.
And A New Revenge would be closer to, in my opinion, to just straightforward hard rock, even like the DOS type of voice that I have. That's
Sure.
kind of what the voice is. It's just right at you. But yeah, I mean, and that's why I did it, because, you know, when Sean asked me to do the Three Tremors, the reason why I really wanted to do it was, first, it was making a record. It wasn't going and touring off of the past catalogs. It was making a record. Mm-hmm. And it was power metal, classic metal, over-the-top lyrics, over-the-top singing, over-the-top artwork. Everything was what we grew up with. So it was kind of like, yeah. And I said, Spirits of Fire, Judas Priest, Sabotage, other influences, Project Rock, which is A New Revenge, straightforward rock, hard rock. If someone doesn't like one of these 3, I'm going to have to do rap next, I guess, the country, because, you know, it's great reading the reviews on it. One record will get, that's terrible. The next record, you're like, actually, I read one guy that reviewed, he really doesn't like me, and he just slagged them all, and he was like, one's too not enough there, too modern. This one's, oh my God, Ripper sounds like he's right from the 80s. This one, I'm like, Jesus, man, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, it's like, unless you're doing, there's no winning, man. And honestly, for you, there's probably no winning, because everybody still, 20 years later, they're just like, well, you're not in Judas Priest anymore, so you're no good anymore. And it's such a bullshit label to put on you,
well,
you know?
It is funny. I always laugh because, listen, I love my time at Judas Priest. You know how I talk about it. Well, it's the best times of my life, but I do more now and see more and travel more and make more. Everything about it is more. And I do more. I'm busier. When I always tell people, yeah, I make more money now. That's because I'm working nonstop. That's
sure.
why I make more
Right.
You know, it's like, but it's funny when they say it. I'm like, man, well, you guys, someone must not even check the internet and see what I do. And all thanks to Judas Priest, but it's pretty crazy what people say. And I'm glad I released these 3 CDs coming out again, you know, because it's so different. All of them are different. So I really enjoy them all. I'll put one on at the gym today. I've been listening to more Three Tremors, get ready for the tour, but
sure,
I love putting them on and listening to them. And, you know, Project Rock is the one that could angle out, or A New Revenge can angle out to more people who don't listen to screaming vocals.
Right.
And it's to me, it's a great that'll be a great live music and a great put in your car and just turn it up and drink some beer. Well, I guess I shouldn't be drinking beer in the car, but you know, who said you can't?
Right. Nice. Well, dude, talk about this Three Tremors project a little bit, or band a little bit. I have to imagine that this is the first time in your life, I mean, going all the way back before you were in Judas Priest, that you've ever worked and been challenged by equally talented vocalists. I mean, Harry and Sean are as good as you know, day in and day out, I think.
Oh, they're fantastic. And hey, listen, I'll tell you what, I love touring with it live because I'll just go, hey, you guys can sing my part. I'm going to take a little break.
Right.
No, I'm not joking. I'll do it. Tonight I'll look at him and go, hey, could you sing my high notes? Because I didn't sleep today. It's kind of funny, but, well, and what's great about the CD is, again, like I said, I wanted to do it because Sean wanted to make a CD. I'm like, man, this is we're going to push this. We're pushing our music, not my catalog.
Right.
And it was he sent me the music and said, here's what I got. Here's the music and here's the singing. And instead of us singing just little sections and parts, we sang the whole thing. You know, I sang the whole record with my own harmonies.
Okay.
And you know what, Chris, it made me sing different on this record because when I heard Sean's, I'm like, well, if I sing what Sean did, I'll sound a lot like Sean.
Right.
What's the point of that? So if you can probably tell when you hear the CD, I sing more raspy falsettos.
Mm-hmm.
I sing more of a metal church, AC/DC kind of voice with a lot of layers and a lot of different things because I stand out more from those guys just because I wanted to do that. But I sing the whole record, and it's kind of cool because, like you said, that they sing so good, and there was parts where I just heard a high note, and I'm like, man, I'm not even going to sing that. You did it good enough. You know, there was a couple notes that I'm like, Jesus, Sean, I don't know, I don't know what you were eating that day or whatever, but that thing is impossible. So I was like, screw that.
Right. He's a ridiculous singer. I mean, and certainly you are one of the most highly regarded vocalists in the history of this game. But I mean, Sean's voice is ridiculous.
No, he's great. They're great, and they're great guys. And Sean and I met Sean years ago originally when he opened up for Judas Priest.
Okay.
Cage opened up for Priest in San Diego. And then years later, I saw him. I think I was probably doing Iced Earth, and I was in a festival in Europe, and he come up and said, hey, man. And so we've been friends for a while. Harry and I met, I think maybe Mexico when I was doing a Beyond Fear show, and okay. Harry and I met. But Harry is crazy because the thing about Harry, well, he is crazy too. I mean, you know Harry, yeah. So not only that when I say Harry's crazy, he is crazy, but he gets up and like I don't talk to anybody. Like we get up, we're on the road in Europe doing 17 shows. I get in the van, I'm like, no one look at me or talk to me.
Right. That's
kind of my motto on the road. I don't want to do. Harry gets up, he gets in the car, he's singing Britney Spears, and he's just singing and laughing, having a good time. Like, man, oh man, dude, how do you even? I have a hard time singing at the show, and he's just singing all day and having a good time, and he is the life of the party.
Right.
And he, his voice is just so good. So it's amazing to be with these two guys and have, and old school singers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Tim, talk about the tour a little bit. I mean, you're obviously going out with Three Tremors. I have to imagine this is one of the tougher tours you've ever done, just because of the material itself. No.
Well, no. I think the toughest tour for me when I did it was probably like when I tour solo and I do Cathedral Spires, Bullet Train, Bloodstained, 10,000 Strong, Scream Machine.
Right.
All of them. I mean, that's just me up there singing 2 hours, and that's a hard set. But I tell you, well, and the older I get, remember, I have 2 other singers up there to bounce off of and not sing the whole set.
Sure.
What's funny about doing a set like this, it's harder to take care of your voice on this, and because you're shutting it on and off a lot more. Like all of a sudden you stop singing and the other guy might sing, and that's the only time I did that was probably with Yngwie, but then I was off for 30 minutes folding my clothes during a solo, so it was kind of a little bit different.
Right.
But as if I was up there singing this whole set, it might be challenging, but it's hard to say. It's a weird thing because the hardest set is when I do the other one, but it is my own music, so you tend to it's tailored more for you, and you're used to doing it. But it's weird because I mean these songs are just nonstop. That's the difference. Also, there's a freaking nonstop.
Right.
I asked Sean if maybe next record, if he writes these songs, if he could, like when he's writing them, if he could just put sections where we could breathe, because then that would kind of help. Like, okay, we're singing about swords and dragons, and breathe right there. Okay, now let's go. I'm like, man, thank God I feel like we're like the Nelson brothers right now, plus one cousin. So we're kind of like 2 Nelson brothers and a cousin up on stage, as I feel like.
Very nice, man. Well, Tim, I got to ask you about one that I know people ask you about here and there, but I have it on very good authority that there were several new Beyond Fear tunes that were worked on and then sort of not finished. Where does that stand, if anywhere?
Yeah, I still got them. The problem is what I run into is it costs me money to kind of do that.
Sure.
So it's kind of it's a real, early on it was a little different, but now I've gotten older. I have more bills. It just becomes a little bit different to do things. I think I'll probably release those songs and I'll get John and the guys to record with me. I'd like to record a new solo record, definitely. Okay. But what I'll probably do is just kind of move Beyond Fear into like the next solo record is kind of what I'm thinking, because touring under Beyond Fear makes it harder. I can't afford it. You don't make any money. Labels don't want to pay anymore. So it's kind of a hard situation. But these songs, we got a good amount, 6-7 songs at least, I think. Might have been more. I'm trying to think of some Inside the Devil's Mind and some really good tracks that were on there. But and we recorded some in the studio, so we had the basic music down. But I'd like to do it. And I've been talking about the new solo record, and Jamie Jostin and I have been talking about maybe.
I guess in the end, dude, with the Beyond Fear, as a fan of pretty much everything that you've done, I've always thought that is like the most criminally underrated thing of everything that you've done. Do you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I love it. I love the Beyond Fear record. I really love it, and that's why I want to do those songs we wrote. And like I said, it would be probably if it's released, it would be almost like a Tim Owens record, solo record. But it would be different than my last solo record. It would just be the guys, getting back Eric and John and trying to go in the studio and pound these out. But yeah, I agree. The thing is, and it was hard to sell CDs in that era. Now it's even harder to sell music in this era, and that's why labels are. I have people all the time saying, "You do the Beyond Fear record." I said, "Well, if the first record would have sold more, maybe I wouldn't have had a problem."
Right.
Doing it, and that's the issue. We toured under that record. But it is. It's great. It's a great CD. I just love, that's me. I mean, that's the kind of style I am.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of rhythms and that kind of playing. I love it.
No doubt, man. Well, Tim, you've got 3 records that people can pick up within the next, I guess, month or so. You've got Three Tremors, which is out now. You've got A New Revenge, which is out. Is that out the end of this month? Is that right?
End of March.
End of March. Okay, and then Spirits of Fire is in February, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So plenty of Tim Ripper Owens going around. So, Tim, I'll tell you what, man, to wrap this one up, why don't you pick a song from whichever one of the records you would like us to play and maybe tell us a story about it?
Oh, my God. You really got to put me under that kind of pressure?
Or you can pick one from each and we'll play all 3. That's fine.
I say, we're talking Three Tremors since we're getting ready to tour.
Sure.
I say, which one? I don't know which is the good one to. I don't know which one would be the best one to do. Let's see. Let me think. That's a hard one because they're all so different and good.
Sure.
You know which one I like though is the Wrath of Asgard, and because it's a little slower, a little straightforward. It's lyrics that I know nothing about.
Right.
Somebody said, "What is that? Kind of like Vikings?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." But that song is awesome. I love it definitely fits my kind of music too, man. It's got that rhythms going on, and any songs that you can go, "Hey," in the background, I'm like, okay. Wrath of Asgard is it for me.
All right, well, let's check it out right now. It is Wrath of Asgard. It is the Three Tremors right here on your Classic Metal Show.